Well, Dick Smith is the champion of Australian-made and businessman behind one of the Aussie Mites, and he joins me now in the studio. Dick, welcome to the programme.
Hi.
Well, here's Elise Ramsey of Aussie Mite saying you support fellow Australian-owned businesses and squash ours. Poor form, she says.
Yeah, but the claim is actually quite wrong because their product used to be called Dinky Dynamite. And after I came up with the Aussie Mite name, they decided to pinch my name and to call their product Aussie Mite, slightly different spelling.
Oh, wait a minute, this is new news.
Yes.
So you had the Aussie Mite name first?
Absolutely, and got the most incredible publicity. And then Roger Ramsey said he was going to change his name to Aussie Mite, and I said, why? And he said, oh, well, first of all, you haven't bought your product out, and secondly, yours is going to be like Vegemite, mine's different. And I said, but hold on, everyone will have a misunderstanding, and they have. People come to me and they say, Dick, tried your Aussie Mite, don't like it. And I've said, no, we don't have Aussie Mite yet. That's basically a product which is copying ours to mislead Australians.
The name aside,
yeah.
let me just backtrack. They had a product which was presumably some sort of rival to Vegemite. They're Australian owned.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to want to compete with them anyway, rather than back an Australian owned company?
Well, at the time they were selling such minute quantities, and here's the thing, that when they pinched my name, Aussie Mite, with slightly different spelling, it didn't worry me that much because I thought, well, great, we've got to compete at a Vegemite. But after 10 years, this happened 10 years ago, they're not in Coles and Woolworths, so 2 years ago I decided, let's go ahead with the Aussie Mite. We really want a good competitor for Vegemite. And the amazing thing is we've now got Aussie Mite going, similar taste to Vegemite. In fact, it's like Vegemite was in the 1950s when I was a kid, before the Americans changed the taste. And I just couldn't believe when the Ramsey family came out, and they actually said on the ABC at lunchtime, it has the same phonetic sound. It has the same phonetic sound because they knocked off my name.
But you obviously have a relationship with Woolworths. It's obviously easier for you to get on those shelves. Elise Ramsey, in that interview, also made the point that you've managed to displace Australian companies like Berenberg at Woolworths. Do you think this is?
Well, first of all, no, we haven't. Let me just explain this, that with Berenberg, a wonderful Aussie company, they sell jams which are made with sugar. I found out that the largest seller of fruit spreads, which are made without cane sugar, is a French company called St Dalfour. So I went to another small company like Berenberg, it's called Spring Gully in Adelaide, and said, can you make a spread, which we're doing. Now, the most amazing thing is suddenly today, Anthony Paik of Berenberg comes out and says his sales are being affected by my sales of the spread. Now, if that's so, that's a really sad reflection on Australia, because what it's sort of saying is you can't have two small family companies.
But the argument is that Woolworths has physically replaced the products you're promoting.
No, he wasn't saying that. What he says is his sales are down. Let me explain a bit more about it. One of the reasons we did it too is Anthony Paik came to me one day, and I've supported Berenberg in every way I can. I've recently written the foreword to their family history book. So it's amazing he should be attacking me. Now, the interesting thing is that he came to me one day and he said, Dick, Coles have just knocked off all of my products from the shelves. They've removed them all and they've threatened me. And the threat he told me that Coles gave him about them having to pay Coles money, I said, this is the most staggering thing I've ever heard, Anthony. You've got to go to the media with it. And he said, I can't go to the media because then I'll have no chance of selling to them. So let me explain this. No Berenberg and Coles at all, completely dumped. Woolworths kept the product. What Anthony's complaining about is now that Woolworths also stock our product, his sales are down. What that means is there must be a tiny percentage of Aussie families who are prepared to pay Australian.
You are a great contradiction, though, because there you are, explaining that Coles have pressured a small company. You're also a great supporter of both Coles and Woolworths in terms of being big Australian companies.
Do you know what I'm a supporter of is the fact that at least they're Australian, because if we break them up, which lots of people would like to do.
Even though most of the things that they sell
if we break them up, they will be totally foreign-owned. Walmart will come in, Aldi will come in, Costco will come in, and if we think they're going to be left ruthless, or we think they're going to support Australian farmers, then they never will. Once they're totally foreign-owned, we're doomed.
Let me ask you lastly about the $1 million that you've just put into the Australian Agricultural Company, according to a report in the Fin today.
Well, it was reported I've just done it. First of all, I did it over a year ago, and I invested $1 million into the Australian Agricultural Company company because they're a wonderful company that owns land in Australia. And I've been saying to people we should try and resist foreign ownership and we should invest in our own country. And I thought I should set an example. Yeah. I've invested that money because I think in the long term owning land that grows food must be valuable.
So are you keen to see them win the Ord tender? Because obviously there's a Chinese player up against AACo to buy the Ord.
I can't believe there'd even be a tender out for the Australian people and the Australian government to think of selling that land, say, to the Chinese is nothing short of criminal. I can't buy land in China. I can't even buy farming land in the United States. But here we are going to sell this incredibly valuable land. We shouldn't be doing it. It should be in Australian hands. If the AA company did it, that would be wonderful.
Dick Smith, it's always a pleasure to have you on. It's good television. Thank you for joining.
Aussie might forever.